Okay, good afternoon. And during the last day and a half, you have all heard about how companies are using continuous monitoring and continuous auditing. I know many years ago, Miklos and I, we started the continuous auditing at AT&T, and we're still working on that. And during the last 2 years, I see continuous monitoring and continuous auditing flourish in the internal auditing departments. Like when I do audits at my client side, I use continuous auditing and continuous monitoring and to provide quality results. Now, rather than doing sampling, I can tell the board that I'm doing it 100% verification. And it provides value added to management using these techniques. And we have very fortunate that we have representatives from 5 internal audit groups to present to you some of the projects in continuous auditing or projects in the internal audit department, similar to what I have said, applying using continuous auditing, continuous monitoring in our work. So without ado, I would like to introduce Brad, Ames, and Patricia Danger to talk about Hewlett-Packard's application control benchmark.
Well, thanks a lot, Lily, and thanks, Miklos, for giving us the opportunity to present this afternoon. I did sneak a couple slides in based on the commentary that we've been getting, but just a little context. So my role at HP is for SOX testing. I'm in charge of all of the, or responsible for all of the SOX testing, IT and financial for the company. Our fiscal year ended last week. It was a 10/31 fiscal year, so they don't know I'm here, but they will apparently on YouTube. All right, they'll know. You got to black out the eyes. All right, so
We'll all wear glasses.
yeah, so I did to set the context in the PCAOB guide, the Audit Standard 5 in the appendix. I saw this note about 2 years ago when the guide came out, and it says, well, if the general controls are effective and if the automated application control has not changed, you can conclude, and then it says something kind of mysterious, so without repeating the prior year's specific test, which is very expensive for us. So our context of doing this project was to reduce our cost of compliance. And I wanted to give you a few takeaways because we don't have that much time and didn't want to go over because to steal time from my colleagues. Some key takeaways. So the tool has got multiple purposes. So we built something that was meaningful to management, it's meaningful to auditors, and it's meaningful to our external auditors. And it turns out our external auditors do rely upon this to for their own opinion, and it has reduced and or resulted in a reduction in fee as well as a cost of compliance internally. The second point is cost. What we're finding here, this is our first year, is it does save quite a bit of labor, and we'll talk to that in a couple slides. And then timing. So we haven't talked a lot about timing, but if I can push year-end testing into the interim, and that saves a lot of intrusion and and even if it did save me a lot of labor, just the idea of controlling that timing saves me a lot of problems. But you know what? We didn't really talk about the real motivator, and that is pain, right? We talk about, well, why haven't we seen as much progress? I think we have, but it really is people, when they feel the pain, that's what, well, it's the innovator's friend. And so part of this is our SOX effort has generated much of the innovation or the reasoning or the rationale for the innovation that you're about to see. The other part is uncertainty, and you actually add in a little fear to that, and you got really the ingredients for innovation, and we'll talk to that a little bit. I added this slide based on this is from our year end. What the takeaway here is that we did 23% of our controls tested for SOX, 23% of them, or application controls, but it turned out that only 3% of the audit effort was required to get to that 23%. All right, pretty good, huh? Real data, okay? Now here's the other thing. This is our manual processes. Our tradition, which is 40% of our controls, our manual, takes me 67. But we knew that, right? Because it's manual and it's hard to, and you have to negotiate, but also the timing. All right, let's talk through this. This is one application. We are assessing about 60. This is one application that happens to be a warranty parts application. Small font, but let me just get you some numbers real quick. Last year, fiscal year 08, application controls, we tested 23 of them. And Patricia will talk a little about the configurables. Last year, it cost us 840 hours. This year, with the monitoring and the benchmarking, 107 hours. Okay, real data, real savings. All right, we got it nod in his head. So is the CFO, by the way. Okay?
I wish I was a CFO.
You get that. You're on the way, man. Okay, get it? So what that means is, what's that mean? Each hour spent benchmarking saved us over 6 hours of traditional inspection. Now, the inspection's never going to go away because of the pain thing, right? I mean, actually, that's why we're in the auditing. It's painful for the auditor, the auditee. It's recreational for us, right? So it's discretionary pain that it motivates. Okay, I just want to get that clear.
So where did the 6 hours go? Is it a better quality of life, or did you allocate it on research?
It gets redirected to other things that we would have done, we should be doing, but we couldn't have done. Does that make sense? It's redirected to another operational audit. But that's a good question. We'll come back to that. And I'm running out of time already. Here's another. Keep your eye on the blue, the application controls. This is what I talked about. You see how that bubbles up in Q3, and then it's a nice kind of bell curve. The ITGC we test early, kind of coordinates. Now what is this? The mountain of pain, right? The mountain of pain. So, you know, our auditees, the victims, right? This isn't good for them, right? So I think the deal is to communicate. There's a better way. There's a better way. It saves us time, and it's less intrusive, okay? Now we'll go into the how this works, and then I'll hand over to Patricia. So it's baseline. So you identify these application controls, and we're looking for change. Comes straight out of COSO. Looking for change, monitoring for change. And basically, as you see management respond to their change, if it's a low risk change or didn't affect the application control, I can revalidate that control without inspection. So that's how it works. More coverage, less frequent baseline certifications. I'm going to show you our whole chart of our whole framework, but we're not going to get into it completely. You need to understand there's three buckets of risk: IT operations, applications, financial process, ops, apps, process, ops, apps, process. We've done some monitoring in each of these spaces. The most relevant monitoring, the most economically useful monitoring. What, you got a hand up?
A quick question. On the previous slide, are those manual controls or are those manually tested controls?
Manual controls.
So there's not really an opportunity to automate that unless they control.
All right, but you see, I'm going over time. I would love to answer your question. Am I right? Where's Lily? Right? I can feel it. I can feel that.
5 more minutes.
Okay. I'll talk to that, but Yeah, it's manual, and the problem is I can't get back.